This tutorial is to help you walk through the rock, paper, scissors app development that starts on page 369 in the Swift Explorations books. At the start of, you can read the introduction, how the app is going to visually appear, and the technique that's going to be used to put together the app. Part 1 starts on page 372. So it says the first thing that we need to do is create a new Xcode project. So I am going to start a new project. It's an app, and I'm going to call it RPS video. Put it in your documents folder. In my documents, I have an Xcode 12 folder, and then within that, I have a Unit 4 folder. So I'm going to find where I want to put it on my MacBook and choose Create. I'm going to set up the desktop space to make maximum usage of it. I want to be able to see my Xcode, and I want to try to be able to also see the book so that I can follow along in the book. So let's go to the next page. It says we need to go to the project navigator, and we're going to create a Swift file, and we're going to name it sign. So here is the navigator window. So on the Manila folder, now I will do new file. It is going to be a Swift file. And I'm going to go to the next page and name the file sign. As it says on page 374, you can always choose your own names for things that you add in this lesson, but it will be easier to follow along if you use names that match these instructions. I'm going to take their advice, and I'm going to call this sign. So now we are in the sign folder that we've created. You can see that it's appeared over here also in our project folder. At the bottom of page 374, it says name the enum sign. Add a computed property to give the emoji that the sign represents. Okay, so we know that there are 3 cases, so create an enum with cases representing each sign. So we're going to have rock, paper, and scissors. So we have to remember, we talked about enums and the correct syntax in Unit 3. So we will remember that as we create an enum structure. They tell us to call it sign, name the enum sign, and then we have an open and closing bracket. And as with all opening and closing brackets, I am going to recommend that you put a comment so you can tell what closing bracket that this goes with as we build it out. So we have a case of rock, a case of paper, and a case of scissors. The next instruction says add a computed property to give the emoji that represents the sign. So I'm going to create a computed property. It's going to be an emoji. And emojis are of type string. Now over on Blackboard, it reminds you that you can bring up the emoji picker by using Control Command Space. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and put that in this file also as a comment. So within this computed property, we are also going to have another switch statement. Which we also covered back in Unit 3. So for the case of rock, we want to return the emoji fist sign. So now I will do Control Command Spacebar, and I will find my fist sign. Choose that. We have a case of paper, and we will return the palm. I'm going to bring up my emoji, Control Command Spacebar, and choose this palm. The last case we have is, oops, wrong position on the keyboard, scissors. And for that, we will return what looks like a peace sign. But for this game, it's going to be our scissors. I'm going to go ahead and line these up. And then I have to have, whoops, a closing bracket. Oh, whoops, it put one there for me when I created that. Okay, just doing a little code organization. Oh, that was not a switch. That was an enum. Let me clean up my comments. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to check my syntax, and I realize that I am missing for my computed property, I am missing my bracket. Whoops, wrong place. Let's see, and now I think I have a problem with my brackets. Seems like I should need another. Okay, so that's the computed property. Okay, there we go. So my switch statement, my computed property, and my enum. All right, so let's go to the next page. So for defining the game state, there are 4 different states that the game can be in. Start, how we need to set up the game to start. Figure out the win condition, figure out the lose condition, figure out when there is a draw. So it says create another new Swift file to hold an enum with the 4 cases as named above. Name the file and the enum game state. So I'm going to go back up to my Manila folder like we did to create the Swift. Yes, the sign.swift file. And you right click on that. This time I'm using a mouse, so it's the difference between a mouse and a keyboard. Let's see. Where does it? Have to go back. So I right click, I have a mouse, or if you're using the trackpad, then you have to do a control click on that Manila folder. So, whoops, whoa, too far. Okay, so, and then we go to new file. We want to create another Swift file. We're going to go with their recommendation, which is to call this game state. And I am following their recommendation, capital G, capital S. And then it appears, and now it says we want to create a game state enum that will hold the 4 cases: start, win, lose, draw. So an enum game state. Okay, let's see if I can do a better job this time of my bracket management. So case start. Whoa, I obviously did a shortcut command that I did not intend to do. Stop that. Okay, since I'm having, I don't know what is causing that to make an automatic, Xcode is trying to give me more help than I want. Start. Win. Lose. Draw. You need to be able to compare 2 sign instances to give a game state. For example, a player's rock and the computer's paper would give you lose. Add an instance method to sign that takes another sign representing the opponent's turn as a parameter. The method should return a game state based on the comparison between self and the opponent's turn. So we need to go back to our Swift file and we need to add that logic. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say this was the instructions from page 376. This is my instance method that they're talking about. I'm going to add the logic for that. Swift code for a method is the reserved word func. I'm going to call this game state. We're going to set up a parameter for against. That's going to be our opponent's sign that they play. And it's the type of that enum that we just created. And then we are supposed to return a game state. Okay, let me move this down. What happened to my... That's weird. Oh, okay. So this is the end of my function. So if what we play is equal to the opponent's sign, then we want to return that the game is a draw. And now we're going to have a switch statement to take care of the other game possibilities. Okay. So we're going to look at all the different options for what we can return as our play. So we can return rock. Oh, I didn't spell this right. Not E-N-T. And I'm going to try to use my... That will... Okay. Wow, I have gotten this all mixed up because apparently I don't know how to spell opponent. O-P-P-O-N. Okay, because this is really going to mess my program up if I'm not consistent, right? So let me try to fix this, and from now on for this word I need to use my little drop down. Yeah, I know you can't find it. Okay, up. Oh, for goodness sakes. Oh, I don't know. This is fighting me at every turn. Let me now take care of my problems by not so this is end if, that is end switch. Okay. Opponent sign is scissors. Return win. If we play paper, if opponent sign equals rock, return win. If opponent sign paper, return win. So if one of those conditions, not what I wanted to do. That is the end of the if. We want to return lose. Okay. And actually, this is in the wrong place. My function needed to go inside of this declaration, so I need to delete this. That's why it's saying about self. And I need to put this down here. And I didn't learn my lesson about, there we go, using my blue drop-down menu to keep my spelling correct and to remind me of the way that I've set up my variable names. Learn from my mistakes, don't do what I do. Use that blue drop-down menu. You can see the trouble that it caused me. I am going to go ahead and stop this with page 376, and we'll start up in the next video creating a random sign.